Hello, it is May 25th, 2024, and it's a Wall Street weekly wrap up. And my image is the NVDA bulls. If you had NVDA, you had a good week. Don't have NVDA, might have been a red week. Our largest position, the company we have the faith in, is going to sit there and do well. Surrounded by a lot of bears, but it just crushed them all. And one of the things we're going to look at in NVIDIA is a lot of the things are outstanding. Beat by 52 cents. Earnings of $6 a share. Revenues up to 62.1. The best by far in tech. The best in the S&P 500. Going to do a 10-to-1 stock split. We know from the Qualcomm example and other ones that usually run up before the split and then drop off maybe 10-20%. We're in it for the long term. We're going to deal with that 10%, 20% drop. It's going to give a dividend for each one of your shares, of your 10 shares that you get for each NVIDIA. So 10% right now share. It started out, it's good. I remember telling them 4 years ago, go kick out IBM out of the Dow and put NVIDIA in. They didn't listen. Elf, I'm telling you, retail, oh my God, this company is smoking it. Lower price, good quality merchandise at a reasonable price, 53 cents a share, up 71%, one of the best in retail. It is just eating Ulta, Sally Beauty, and all these other companies. Why? Because it's going good. And, like I said, we're going to go in there. As long as the teenagers are still buying it, as long as the revenues are going up, we're going to be an elf. And the averages, NASDAQ was the winner this week, up 12% for the year. That's pretty good. Can you imagine if you sold it back in April when somebody says it's going to drop 25%, which never happened? It only dropped 5%, which is, the fluctuation. The Russell, the overall index, is tough. It is tough when the big mega caps are doing the best earnings. It's tough to be in the Russell. We have a little exposure to it. But S&P and NASDAQ set a new record high. Broke through a ceiling on the NASDAQ. I got the QQQ charts up, and it's a nice channel upward, a nice sloping 200-day moving average. This is what I like. I like this slope, this kind of slope right here, about 30 degrees up. That's what you want to see. You don't want it up too high because then it's going to drop and be jagged. The indicators, almost 5% for interest rate. That's getting a lot of people spooked. When it's 5, that's when people start selling because they think, I could put it in money market, get a little bit better, like 5.5, or something else. Oil is 77, which is good because it's under 80. Natural gas is stubbornly. We don't use it that much in the summertime. At least I don't use any. But usually it'll be down there. We have plenty of natural gas, plenty. But other countries are buying it for the winter, and it's time to buy now. Gold a little rockier. It was at $2,400 earlier this week, and it went down a little bit. Silver going up to $30. I don't remember it being 30 for a while. It's been a while, probably around about 2020 maybe. I don't remember. That's good. Remember we were buying it at 15. People were like, oh, 22. Copper 475. Dropped a little bit from 5, but that's still pretty high. The high for gold, and let's just talk about, because I've been doing this thing forever. 1980, back here, gold's beat when the Hunt brothers were trying to corner silver, and gold went up in sympathy. Got up to about $800. So if we take the inflation for the last, 44 years, it would be 3,200. So you can see we're at 2,400, 334. That's the number. If you want to get a number to say I'm going to take my profits, try to wait till 3,200. It could hit that. I think it'll hit 3,000. I don't know if it'll get to 3,200, but I'm just looking at every generation it runs, and this is what I call the generation here, but it might just run again, and who knows. NovaCore, this is a lot of stuff. When you get into these techs with biotechs, they talk a lot of slang that everybody knows what GMP. It's just a brain cancer. And tumor treating fields are using electric fields that force it to kill the cancer cell. So, NovaCore, you can see this 200-day moving average. This thing had shot up crazy. We just wait till it comes down, and we bought it. Now it's up at 23. This ceiling is high. It'll be $100 stocks if everything keeps on going good. And, some of the companies who can monetize this technology probably make NovaCore a buyout. Would they sell it $50? double the price. Where they sell, I don't know. Copper, let's talk about it, because copper, did get up above 5. And China is a big consumer of copper. And data centers are the #1 increasing use for copper. Got to have a lot of cable, a lot of distribution lines. Got to make sure the power is going to be pretty good. I get to go to the data centers. I see it all the time. And it's going to be up more and more. They're going to have a lot of data centers. And that's going to take a lot of electricity, which is going to take a lot of copper. You can't have these 50-year-old lines pumping into the data center. You got to have a good grid, and it's going to be in there. So copper is going to be on a run. Again, FCX is our stock for copper, one of the largest copper miners in the world. Also, one of the largest gold miners. So we've got a double hit when we get FCX. And unless we see some kind of collapse in commodities, we're going to hold on to that stock. The XRT is the retail spider, I call it. It's a good chart. I mean, if you take a look at all the stocks, and I didn't list these stocks that are in the area. I just listed what some of the companies. Remember, we had Alpha at 30-some%. Walmart, which is here, 6% growth. Pretty good. So our two retailers are good. When you look at it, maybe only Shoe and Costco did better. Remember, we could add more, but we got two good retailers, and we're going to keep with them. It's a slow grind upward. That's okay, because they both pay dividends. Aluminum, again, I'm doing commodities. It's getting up to the high. It's only 52 cents a pound a can. Remember, when it got crazy way back over here, they were paying about $1. But strong demand, limited production, and there's an tariff on the Chinese products from aluminum. So it's going to be a little bit stronger. And again, this is another commodity that, if it tapes the trend of these other ones, we could see a record coming up for aluminum. And this goes up to $1 a can. And then people will be raiding your garbage for your cans. Wheat, highest price in the year. Weather and crop fears. This is what everybody's worried about. So, price of these commodities are going up. Now, remember, as it goes up this fast, it can come down this fast. They're all watching the wheat crop for the area. We've had a lot of wind this year, and I don't know how that's going to affect the Great Plains wheat crop, but, I mean, we're having a lot of issues and a lot of wetness, so I've seen farmers not plant as early as they would like. I still have people planting now, which is odd because usually it's done at the end of April sometimes. We bought Roche, RHHBY. It's an ADR, and the thing is, we got now 3 GLP-1 stocks. We don't have Lilly, but we have Novo Nordisk, we have Amgen, and we got Roche. Roche did real well, 18% body weight, showing improvement in obesity and type 2 diabetes. It's a stock that's been sitting there. Remember, Novo Nordisk, same way. You got time to get in. If you want a GLP stock, this is the one you're going to buy. For now, remember, we're not, in phase 3 trials. This thing could completely unravel, but we're going to have it. I mean, I like Novo Nordisk. You go with Ozempic because that is the king of the GLP-1 drugs. It's fairly cheap compared to its Lilly predecessor, and Amgen's doing well. So if you want to get in early on a stock, you can probably come in on Roche pretty cheap. Big German company. Not going to have any big surprises, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be good. And again, remember, this market is huge for GLP-1. That's why you want to have a little basket of GLP-1 stocks because, I mean, you're talking probably billions and billions of dollars being spent in just the United States for either get the diabetes help or the obesity help. And the heat chart, it's an ugly week overall. If you didn't have the video, look at this, 15% for the week. Wow. And then Microsoft up a little bit, Meta up a little bit, but, energy, boy, they don't like that oil down in the 70s. They want it up in the 80s, and it's taking a hit on those stocks, and we know that. So the banks, interest rates go up, the banks go red. So we're having some issues, and it's kind of a choppy market. So it's, as somebody said, a stock picker market. Well, I says, one in 40 years has not been a stock picker market. But that's it for this week. I'll see you next week. Have a good week. It's Memorial Day. Thank you, shoulders, who sacrificed ultimate. See you later.